How did I get the role? Funny story. I actually saw the breakdown. I saw how many scenes Officer Dixon was in. I knew it wasn't the biggest of roles, but I felt like it was an important role and it was a consistent role. And I reached out to Raven Drummer and I was like, I have got to read for this. Please let me read for it. And oftentimes she's like, well, you can't play a delivery man or you can't play a construction worker, two things that I booked with Tyler Perry Studios and Young Dylan and Sisters. So she didn't question me this time. She's like, well, you've been right in the past. So I read for it and I got the part. That's the easy story. The hard story is how I got the set. So I was actually double booked in New York on a horror film. And we worked it out so that I could be by 8 a.m. the next day. I needed to be in Tyler Perry Studios, and there was a big storm in New York, and I saw they kept changing the date. I'm not gonna miss this Netflix film for Tyler Perry, and so it got to the point where I just told the Uber driver who was taking me to the airport from set, I said, just go ahead and go to the National Car Rental. Got a car, rented it, drove. I think it was 14 or 15 hours through the night. Got pulled over. Police officer was like, where are you going from New York to Atlanta for? What's going on? I said, I'm in this Netflix film. He said, what's it called? I said, Straw. He comes back, he's like, slow it down. I don't know if he Googled it or what, but anyway, so I get to Atlanta around 6 a.m. I take a cat nap at the hotel and I go over. And of course, because it's Tyler and we only shot for 4 days, we were on set for 12 hours. So 13 hour day after about a 15-hour ride. It was a long day, but it was worth it. I mean, you can't, there's no need to go to sleep when you're living your dreams. So this was a once in a lifetime experience. For my character, who's giving a lot of information, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't alarmist because I was the one conveying the information to the chief, right? And so when you're in a police situation like that, you can ratchet up the tension and energy or you can smooth it out. And I wanted to deliver information so that I wasn't causing panic. Obviously, you want to handle things with kid gloves, you know, and with empathy in these type of situations. And my character's job was to give information and not make it worse than it was. And that's what I portrayed. That's what I hope I delivered. I've seen it a couple times, but it's funny because you mentioned mental health issues, but that wasn't alluded to. So we couldn't lean into that or mention that. It had to be in the nuances of all the characters. You see that from Detective Raymond, played by Teyana Taylor, and Dan, who's a negotiator, played by Justin. So we're very careful with what we did and didn't say because you don't want to give anything away. But obviously, all of the officers, most of the officers, led with empathy. What's the conversation like? Well, it's quick, I'll tell you that. I'll back up a little bit when you mentioned all these big shows I was in. First, I was in Nickelodeon's Young Dylan and guest starred in that. That's my first guest star. And then I guest starred on 2 episodes of Sisters. So when Dick Wolf's people call for Law and Order, I can negotiate to be a guest star because of all the things that I've done with Tyler Perry. And so when The Equalizer calls, because of all these Tyler Perry things that I've guest starred in, I can get a bigger credit on that. So when Tyler Perry calls, you answer, and you also remember that part of the reason you're on these big shows is because of that studio, not just him, but the studio and the casting office and the production team. And it's home when you're at Tyler Perry Studios. I've been kicked out of the studio many days. They're like, your ride's here, you have to go, Anthony, because of how great it feels. Different from corporate America, it just feels very safe space. How does that conversation go? I mean, it's a joyous one. You know, like I said, I had a conflict. This is an office where you're very honest, make sure we can work things out, which is great because it's just not something that I was gonna miss. But also, you know, you have to lean against, all right, what you want from the role and the credit you want and those normal negotiations that you have in New York. But then it's also, you want to make sure you're in service to the role and in service to the project. And you don't want to say anything or do anything or ask for anything that's going to have you outside of the project either. So I think part of the payment for this is just to be a part of it and a part of culture. And as big as it got, and it being #1 worldwide, I mean, nobody can tell you that when you get the call, but you just kind of have a feeling. And man, once I read the script, I knew it was going to be huge, and I knew it was going to be different. And a Tyler Perry thriller on Netflix. I still can't believe I'm saying it. I definitely can't believe I'm in it. And so, yeah, it was a quick conversation, but it was an exciting one. I didn't know this was coming up, to be honest with you. So, you know, my life is such that, you keep reading scripts, you keep in touch with your team, and you keep doing the best you can and be as creative as you can on a daily basis. And legitimately, the phone can ring and I gotta go do something in corporate America, or the phone can ring and it's Tyler Perry Studios, and next thing you know, I'm sitting with Teyana Taylor and Taraji P. Henson and Rockman Dunbar. You just never know. And so whatever it is that's next, I just want to bring authenticity to it. I want to bring empathy to it, and I want to make sure it's a story that moves people. And the reaction from this film and seeing the reactions from social media makes me more careful and diligent about what films I'll pick in the future, because I want it to mean something. I don't want to do something silly just for the heck of it after this. I want to make sure that I'm intentional, because Tyler was obviously intentional with how he wrote it, how he produced it, how he marketed it, and I want to carry that forward with my own work, and be thoughtful of what I do next.